Dave, we spent most of the show so far talking about costs and TBM and how you're kind of managing the business side of it. I want to jump into some other things. What are some of your other priorities? What are some of the big goals you're trying to get done over the next 6 or 9 months?
Yeah, so certainly making sure that the agency has the resources and the capability that it needs to continue to be effective. So a big push over the next 6 to 9 months to certainly be able to leverage the data that the commission has. Make sure that our particularly when you're thinking about what's happening in the market today with GameStop, AMC, understanding what is actually happening, and then making the appropriate policy decisions from that is certainly a focus for me. So steering right back to cloud and data analytics, putting those capabilities into the hands of users so that they can better do their jobs is certainly a focus over the 6 to 9 months. So we'll be accelerating that area. We touched on remote work capabilities. So again, another reason to go to cloud is folks at least for the next couple of months here, will be working out of their homes. So we want to make sure that they have the computing capacity needed, because by and large it won't be on their laptop. So that's going to come from cloud services. So that's certainly going to be a focus over the 6 to 9 months is doing that faster. So that's certainly the predominant one. Always with an eye towards it's certainly what's the issues of the day with respect to supply chain security, making sure that we have the right controls in place from a data integrity and data security standpoint are certainly important. They're going to continue to be important. So that's certainly the other focus area. And then of course we always want to make sure that folks are able to do their day-to-day jobs. So that's going to continue to be the third area. The fourth area, as I talked about, is a big focus on people. So we talked earlier about adopting Agile, DevOps. We want to make sure that we have the training capabilities in place for folks to be able to take advantage of that and to be able to adopt new skills. So that's the other priority area, certainly over the next six to 9 months.
All right, a couple of things to dig out from that. Let me start with cloud data analytics piece, because the SEC, as you know very well, is a big data agency. Everything you do is about the data. So currently, and give me maybe a percentage or some sort of way to quantify how much are you in the cloud already? How much do you expect to be in the cloud? And then we'll get to the data stuff.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we are in the cloud today. We absolutely have take advantage of a number of cloud services today. That said, I think we're at the 25% if you look at our overall workload that's in a managed service provider today. So that's where we are. Over the next couple of years, this year, this past year, and what we're doing right now is what I would call laying the foundation, both people, process, and technology to accelerate that. So we'll certainly be working that migration hard, the rest of this year into next year. By year 3, going back to the 3-year budget planning process we talked about. I think we'll be in the 80% range. With in the 20% we'll be on-prem. And why is that? That there are capabilities that the SEC has and needs to maintain that don't really make sense to have in an OpEx environment. But for the most part, the agency's needs can be best met by having capabilities that are in an OpEx environment.
And I think most agencies will agree the hybrid approach is going to be there for quite a long time, if not forever. So I think that's a good example of if you can get 80% in the cloud and make life easier, that's a pretty good accomplishment. because the other piece of it is the data, right? You're gonna have so much data, you're collecting so much data, you're gonna have more powerful tools to process that data. We could talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, predictive analytics. All those things are better, it seems to be run in the cloud. So where are you today? I know years ago I wanted to say I spoke with the SEC CIO, and the data warehouse, the data lake concept was big.
Yep.
I imagine you still have it, but are you adding tools on top of it? How are you making analysis easier for the non-data people, non-data scientist people?
Yep. So the data lake concept is definitely still here, because it makes a lot of sense. When you think about it, right? So whether we're making rulemaking decisions, or whether we're doing examinations or enforcement, or doing economic analysis, and posting that, and posting all of that, either findings or data for the public. Having internal to the SEC, having people to be able to access the same data, makes a lot of sense. We want to make sure that we have the appropriate safeguards around that, from a mission use, and certainly appropriate use part of that. But a big part of that is making data usable and discoverable across the commission. So certainly the data lake concept is in full effect, and yes, and we'll continue to have that enterprise data warehouse. That's the moniker for that, as that concept going forward. That said, that enterprise data warehouse is going to live in a cloud environment, because we have a need to be able to scale up and scale down, depending on what the issue of the day is. And I don't think, to your earlier point, we are certainly going to always have more data. So making sure that we can store that data as cheaply as possible, yet still access it, makes sense from a cost perspective. So that's you're certainly right about the data as being a key driver for our cloud strategy.
And then the tools that will live on top of that, or in the cloud, the business intelligence type tools, the analytics tools, are there certain ones you're saying, hey, we're going to look out for, or try to bring into the SEC in 2021 and beyond?
I think the tools that certainly things that help the various folks around the agency understand the data, and how the data connects to events is certainly going to be important for us. So so that's certainly one area. I think that tools that are directly, as I talked about, related to managing a data warehouse, certainly in our data pipeline, to make that a more let's say automated process, in terms of normalizing data as it comes in, and then doing those ETL, extract, transport, load tasks for the various departments that are using data. We want to make sure that we're automating that pipeline to the max extent that we can, and then making sure that we're doing the right things from a security and compliance standpoint. So those are capabilities that we're certainly looking to invest in for the commission. We're always looking to invest in analytic tools, in terms of understanding, again, helping our whether enforcements or exams, or DERA, which is our research arm, understand the data that's coming in, and help them to make decisions. We're always on the lookout for those types of capabilities.
Dave, I see we're just about out of time. Before I let you go, just got to ask the question. A lot of vendors are going to listen to this and want to know how they can help you. What's the one recommendation you'd have for vendors in terms of how to work with your office?
Yeah, give me a call.
Now you've opened yourself up, but okay.
I've opened myself. I've opened myself up, but we do have quite our primary vehicle for services is what we call our one IT IDIQ. So that's our kind of our main mechanism for bringing services to the SEC. we do have our Office of Acquisitions does sponsor a number of industry engagements. So certainly always willing to sit down with with folks that have ideas in terms of how to make the SEC more successful.
All right, well, very good. Dave, this has been a fascinating conversation. I really appreciate your time. So let me thank my guest, Dave Bottom, the Chief Information Officer at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Dave, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Jason. It was great talking with you this morning.
I'm Jason Miller, and you've been listening to Ask the CIO, sponsored by Aptio on Federal News Network. For more on this discussion, visit federalnewsnetwork.com and search Ask the CIO.